Mr. Carter, would you please give us your full name and DOC number?
William Stephen Carter, 35-2396.
Mr. Carter, let me explain our process to you. This is a parole revocation hearing. I'm going to read to you your parole revocation questionnaire and go over it with you. Do you have that document with you?
I believe so.
Okay, and then after we go over that, I'm going to read the allegations that charge you with potential violations of your parole. Then we'll have a hearing. We'll have an interview with you. And after we have that interview, you'll have an opportunity to discuss this case with us and we'll vote. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
When I read you the allegations, you'll have a right to plead either not guilty or not guilty with a statement or guilty with a statement. Do you understand our process?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carter, would you take a look at your parole revocation questionnaire? Do you see that? Have that with you?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature on the bottom of the page dated May the 10th of 2023?
Yes, sir.
And are all of those allegations, all of those answers that you made on that questionnaire on May the 10th of 2023 still correct today?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an attorney representing you, Mr. Carter?
No, sir.
Do you wish to proceed today without an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Carter, I'm now going to read the allegations against you. It's alleged that you have violated rule number 4 on September the 3rd of 2022. You committed a new felony offense of domestic abuse battery. Through a plea agreement, you pled guilty to the misdemeanor offense of criminal mischief on April the 17th of 2023. How do you plead to those allegations?
I didn't commit a felony. I was charged with one. The reason I pled guilty to the criminal mischief.
Let me slow you down, Mr. Carter. Sometimes these allegations are written in such a way that it's very difficult simply to say guilty or not guilty. Okay, it's my understanding that if I might interject, you wish to make a statement about what it was. You were charged with a felony. You pled guilty to a misdemeanor. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you'd like to make a statement as to why you pled guilty to the misdemeanor and you weren't charged with the felony. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your case has been assigned to Ms. Bonnie Jackson. Would you answer any questions that she might have?
Good morning, Mr. Carter. How long have you been detained on this charge?
How long?
On the parole hold. How long have you been in jail on a parole hold?
Oh, since September 3rd.
Of last year.
Now, 2022.
All right. And you were living in Lake Charles, is that correct?
No, ma'am. I was staying in Houghton.
Okay. Where did the incident happen, in Houghton?
Yes, ma'am. At my home.
Okay. Were up until the date of this incident, were you in compliance with the conditions of your parole?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you working?
I run a sober living home.
You were in a say that again?
I'm owner operator of a sober living home.
So that means the answer to the question is that you were working.
Yes. Yes.
And you were paying your fee?
Up to the date, no, ma'am. I was off due to Corona, a hospital stint, but my officer knew what was going on.
Okay, so you were keeping in touch with your parole officer.
Yes, ma'am.
When were you in the hospital and for how long?
I had a bacteria in my blood, and my blood pressure went up to 230 over 170, and my temperature was 103.7 for a week and a half. And
Okay,
around this
how
time,
long, how long were you in the hospital?
2 weeks. And I
So-
checked my,
Go ahead.
I
So
checked
let's-
myself. And,
Let's talk about the incident now. I think, most of the facts are not in dispute. You were at your home with your current, girlfriend. Former girlfriend came to your house, a little bit upset with you because you were with your new girlfriend, is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
And how did she gain entry into your home?
She opened the door and walked in.
It wasn't locked?
Ma'am.
So, I mean, did she knock on the door and you come to the door, or did she just walk in the house?
She walks in the house all the time.
Well, what did she do on this day?
Walked in the house.
And then what happened when she walked in the house?
But it didn't start out as her being belligerent. It started out as her just coming over, hey, how you doing? You know, she stayed in Shreveport, I stayed in Houghton. She came over, she's come in, we're talking. My sober living home is for women and children. So it wasn't nothing big about a girl being there, but then I established that one of the females that was there was my girlfriend. That's when she became belligerent.
Okay. And what happened when she became belligerent?
I asked her to leave. I asked her to leave a bunch of times. Then I called the police and I told them, my 911 call, I said, gave them my name. I said, hey, I'm not trying to have anybody get in trouble. I don't want her to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail, but could y'all please get her out of my house?
Okay. And what happened? Why are you in jail then?
Because they came out, after I made the call, I waited, it took from the time I made the 911 call to the time that I actually escorted her out of my house, it was like 20 minutes of her going through my house. She squirted toiletries in my carpet. She broke dishes and she grabbed my coffee table, picked it up and threw it. When she threw it, I grabbed her, took
How
3
you
steps.
grab? Describe how you grabbed him.
Oh, I just grabbed her around her waist, took 3
Okay.
steps to the door, and she was out the door. The whole thing, the whole incident was over. I had no intent of harming her or nothing. I asked her to leave several times. I called the police. I mean, it was like 40 minutes before the police answered my 911 call.
Right.
At least 40.
Well, she indicated, the deputy indicated that he saw redness on Miss Breedlove's neck, a small cut on her nose, and a red mark on her forehead.
There's no red mark on her neck. They took pictures. There was a cut, red hair on her forehead and one on her ear where she was fighting against me when she was outside to get back into my house. She's
And-
like 5'2", I'm 5'9", and when she ran up against me, all I did was hold my hands out, and that's where her glasses got pushed up over her face.
Well, on May 18th, she reported to the DA's office, and she acknowledged that she had come to your home, got upset because there was another female there. She picked up a glass coffee table, threw the table down and broke it, and then grabbed her from behind and began to pick me up to remove me from the residence. She stated she began to fight back against Carter because she didn't want to be removed while being dragged out by Mr. Carter Miss Breedlove sustained some minor cuts and scrapes. And then she said that you would never hurt her, you were not trying to hurt her. I was just not wanting to be removed from the residence, so I was fighting, so he couldn't remove me. That sound about accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask you a question? Was the female, that, in the house with you, was she a resident of your sober living home?
No, ma'am, on the thing, the resident that was there was, Elizabeth Hall. They named Elizabeth Hall as my girlfriend on the, paper that I believe you're reading. Elizabeth Hall,
No, actually, they named her as Shelley Dance.
she wasn't a resident of the home, she was just my girlfriend.
I just wanted to make sure because it's certainly not good practice to date somebody who's a resident in your sober living facility.
I know, no, she wasn't a resident of the sober living home now.
And how did you become involved? How did you start a sober living business?
As you know, my charge is distribution of methamphetamines. I went and did 11 years. I came home. It was a rocky start when I got out. Christopher Chad Johnson is a guy that he's into the sobriety. I was helping him out with his situation of remodeling houses. And the home that I actually had was gifted to me by Chris. And he said I could have the trailer. I had to maintain a sober living home. And at which time that the lot that it was on needed the trailer, a new trailer to go there. I had to move it and maintain it as a sober living home and another trailer park. And the trailer was mine.
And how long had you been doing it? How long had you operating a sober living home?
3 months.
Well, during your incarceration, what's become of the facility?
When I called the police and I had them I asked them to remove the female from my house. They left people at my house and my house was ransacked. A lot of stuff was stolen. The house is still there. I don't know exactly what Mr. Johnson is gonna say or do because he called my parole officer. He spoke up on my behalf with this situation, but I think he's upset about how how I got locked up and why I got locked up and stuff like that. So I'm in the sober living. That's what I'm gonna be doing for him. But I don't know about that at 810 Timbers East.
And I guess my question is, are you gonna have housing and employment when you're released?
Ma'am?
Are you going to have housing and employment if you're released?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I will, I'm still working for Mr. Johnson.
All right, that's all I have.
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as you sit back and look at this situation, what could you have done differently and gotten a different outcome? What have you come up with?
It's really hard to say because when I approached this situation, I tried to do what I thought everybody would. They say you should have called the police. I called the police. One deputy told me that I should have walked away. I did for 20 minutes. She was in my house tearing my stuff up. When she picked the coffee table up and threw it, I knew, but nobody gonna replace none of my stuff. I wasn't trying to hurt her. I wasn't trying to have her throw something through my television or bust any windows out. All I did was I wrapped her up.
I got you. So, so you did get some new information. The officer suggested that you should have walked away because the stuff can be replaced eventually. But if it's hard, the stuff can be replaced. But when the police rolled up, she would have been in the house doing all she was doing. You just been standing outside. And then the case would have been made and set. I just want to put that on your mind. What that officer said was what I was thinking as well. Just let her tear it all up because it's stuff can be replaced. But your time, the momentum that you had in your ministry, all of that has been, all of that's been moved back.
Yes, ma'am.
When you could have bought a new tablecloth, you could have bought a new coffee table eventually. Cleaned up the grass and you did all that. Would have been hard, but you wouldn't have been in jail. Listen, think about what that officer said.
Yes, ma'am.
Best wishes to you, sir. I just wanted to hear your side. That's all I had, Jim.
Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say before the board votes, Mr. Carter?
I don't, the victim tried to zoom in. I think, I don't know if she's there. If y'all have talked to her.
We don't show anything.
Well, we have her statement that she made on May 18th. And that I read, and I'm sure that would be the gist of what she had to say today, so. We have information.
When I went to the court on May the 18th, I think it was, no, April 17th. And Judge Petard asked me, he said, would you take a criminal mischief today? I told him no, because it was it started out as a domestic, and my parole officer told me that I couldn't take no charge. Judge Petard had already spoken with Ms. Breedlove, and he told me that at the time, he said, the reason I'm giving you the criminal mischief is it's a misdemeanor without a victim. It wouldn't violate your parole. When he told me this, I looked at my lawyer. My lawyer said, okay, he's correct. Deputy Kirkhart for the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Department over in the Max, when I went to court, he said that it won't violate your parole. I didn't understand what was going on because I thought I was going on. The judge told me that if I copped out, there was no process, all the charges, and I was going home that day. That was in April. I didn't cop out just to cop out because my trial date would have been next week. Had I known that this was gonna be July before I even got heard on this, I would have taken it to trial. Because in my mind, I don't think I did anything to serve 10 months, because although I did not walk away, I thought I did everything that I was supposed to do in that situation to keep me and Miss Breedlove out of jail.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Now we're ready to vote. Okay.
Mr. Carter, I do think you did everything you could have done in that situation. And unlike Ms. Wise, I don't know that I would have let somebody break up all my stuff either. It's unfortunate that you found yourself in this situation. It's even more unfortunate that you were held in jail for 10 months or something like this. My vote is to do not revoke and return you to supervision. I hope you can pick up pieces and move forward.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Ms. Wise?
Mr. Carter, as an individual on parole, your goal should always be to not have your name on a police report. In any scenario that you walk into, That's your goal. How can I not have my name on a police report because of what's happening? Keep that in the forefront of your mind. Because, you know, I concur, my vote is to do not revoke as well, continue on supervision with the added condition that you enroll in general counseling for a period of time that's deemed appropriate by their provider. Get with your parole officer. You should be able to find something on a sliding phase. As you pour out to people, you need to be poured into. So you need a counselor. Best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Carter, I agree with both of my colleagues. Ms. Jackson and I were both criminal defense lawyers and judges. Ms. Wise is a probation officer. And there's wisdom in what both of them have said to you. And that is, I do agree that you probably did everything that you could do under those circumstances. That was very reasonable the way you acted. But reality is you are on parole and there's a cloud over your head. And even though you still have many rights, you're still under suspicion. Unfortunately for you, because you were on parole, you found yourself in jail for 10 years. I mean, for 10 months. Had you not been on parole, you might not be there. So I want you to heed Ms. Wise's words because it's important. Because, you know, you may be scrutinized more strictly than someone who's not on. So that's good advice to you, okay? I think you did everything you should do. I believe you when you say your lawyer and the judge told you that. Unfortunately, that's not how parole works. The parole board is who decides whether or not you were revoked or not. Probation is up to the judge, but not parole. So I do believe that, you know, had you had it all to do over again, you probably would have gone to trial. And my guess is you probably would have been acquitted. But I agree with my colleagues. My vote is also do not revoke. So good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.